Olá, galera do Scorpions Brasil, nós estamos aqui com Klaus Meine, vocalista do Scorpions. Se alguém tem alguma dúvida de que é a melhor banda de rock alemã, nós entrevistamos o Klaus em 2010 e eles anunciaram o fim da banda, deixando muitos fãs desolados. Mas aqui está o Klaus mais uma vez para falar com a gente e parece que, felizmente, a banda desistiu dos planos de aposentadoria. Vamos então saber um pouco mais sobre isso? Hello, Klaus, how are you? I'm fine, thanks. So, how does it feel after these 3 years on this final Sting tour?
Well, you know, it feels kind of unreal, you know, because on one side it feels great that we finished the tour the end of December, just before Christmas, with an amazing show in Munich. Where so many fans came from all over Europe and I guess from all over the world, and it feels great that we had a chance to be standing still, going strong and reaching the finish line in a way. But then, you know, after a couple of weeks now, you feel like I gotta pack my suitcase. You know, where do we go now? I gotta go. You know, so it feels kind of strange and different, you know.
Yeah.
But of course, I enjoy the time I can spend with my family, and I just enjoy that we have a moment to take a deep breath, you know, and realize what we went through in the last 2.5 years, and yeah. It's wonderful, and it's a very good feeling to know that we had such an amazing tour, which was very, very successful and going through so many parts around the world, and there's so many memories, and it's like the movie in my head, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's all those pictures coming back to me, and of course when I look to the shows we did in Brazil, you know, we went through so many places in all those years, from when we started first Rock in Rio, when we played in Rio de Janeiro in '85 until 2012. It's such a long it's been a long road, you know.
Yeah.
It's been so exciting, and we had a lot of fun coming back to Latin America, and our fans in Brazil, they treated us always like amazing. And
Oh, that's good.
Great time in your country.
Okay, so you decide not to stop after this great tour. How do you feel about the Scorpions being compared to bands like Kiss that gave up retiring many times, and also about the critics that says your retirement was just a marketing strategy? People are saying things like this. What do you think about this?
You know, I tell you the truth. The thing is that when we finished Sting in the Tail, where I recorded most of the vocals right here in this studio, all of us had the feeling before it was released, this is an album where we really found the Scorpions DNA, and we had a feeling we made an album, we recorded an album our fans were waiting for a long time, where we really found this typical Scorpions feeling, you know, what so many fans are looking for around the world. And with our Swedish producers, Michael Nord Anderson, Martin Hansen, we accomplished exactly that. And the feeling was, who knows, after so many years, if we can match this kind of vibe, if we can make another record with the same quality, with the same energy, with the same songs, with the same powerful material. And so when we're talking about, this feels like this is such a great album, this would be probably a good way, after so many years, after 40 years with the Scorpions, to finish off on a high note and say, adios, this is it, with a great album and with a tour that will take us around the world one more time for 2-3 years. And that's what we did. But saying it's one thing, but year after year after year, after every concert coming closer to the final curtain, we realized it's one thing to say, this is it, and we will finish with the band, but it's almost impossible for us, like the family of spiders, which is not only our fans around the world, but also inside the band. We have all our families and our private lives, but with the Scorpions we have our rock and roll family, and to tear it apart after so many years, it became more and more emotional for all of us. And watching interviews, like I was checking what Matthias said in interviews, or Rudolf, and they were watching what I said in interviews, and even we never talked about it. It was like everybody kind of said, like, we tried to step down from this massive touring where we play between 60 and 100 concerts around the world, year after year after year, without a break at all. And but we need something like a break, and we don't want to split up at this point. And but we have to change this kind of circle. And so this decision was growing, especially in the last 12 months, where we said, this farewell tour will come to an end. And then we say, this is it, goodbye. And all of us were staying behind this decision when we said this will be the last tour, but all of us we were checking our own emotions, coming closer to that point. And of course, the fact that so many fans around the world said, Scorpions, are you crazy? Why you want to stop your wonderful career? Why you want to stop making albums? Why you want to stop coming out on tour and playing between Russia, LA, between Moscow, LA, Paris and Sao Paulo? Why? And the fact also that we have so many young kids in front of the stage every night, it was a whole new generation of Scorpions fans on this tour, and they saw us playing live for the very first time in their life. And this was so much energy that came from the audience, and not only the ones who've been supporting us from the early days, but also from a whole new young generation of Scorpions fans. And it was really, really touching, and an amazing feeling to know that we're reaching the hearts of the young rock audience out there in the world. And so putting this all together, the end of the year and throughout the last couple of months, we came to the conclusion saying, let's finish the tour and in great style and really with a big climax, and then we take a deep breath and we'll see what life will bring, So we don't split up with the band. I never actually said that there will be a split up. I said when we stop touring, there will be plenty of work for all of us to do. And of course, after 40 years of a career, it's impossible that you go home and there's no work with your artistic work waiting for you. So there's plenty of work. We're doing a movie, we're working for 2.5 years now, and there are lots and lots of things. Even if we really stop with no more shows at all, there would be plenty of work for all of us where all of us are still involved. So that's the other side. But then there's nothing sweeter than success.
Yeah, you can't stop at the top now.
And I know that there might be people out there saying, oh, come on guys, this was planned from the very beginning. It's not. It was not planned, not at all, I know we are not the first artists who are saying, this is it, goodbye, and then coming back and keep on going forever. I don't know what the story of the Scorpions will be the end of the day. But I know that from the heart, all of us believe this is the right step, this moment of time, and then we take it from there. Right now, I tell you, there are no concerts planned at all, and this is really, really different. You asked me at the beginning how you feel, and I said kind of strange, because there are no concerts planned, where we go out there selling tickets, playing shows around the world. Like a year ago, in January, there were plenty of shows ahead, and you had an idea, and it was building up, and we knew we wanted to go to North America, coming back to Latin America, and many
Brazil.
shows here in Europe. At this point, there's nothing. We might play one show or the other here and then, doing for special events, but there's nothing planned the way we used to know it, and this is kind of different. And I say, in a way, even we leave it more open than it was planned when we announced this farewell tour in 2010, but it still feels like there is a cut, because we all agreed we don't keep going like the way we did in all those years. And even the Stones, like a generation ahead of us, they had their breaks, and where they took their time off, and when they came back now, they had five years where they never played live concerts.
Yes.
With the Scorpions, it's been always like a circle, being in the studio, going out on the road, going back to the studio, a new album, going back out on the road. And we did this for 40 years. So, of course, I hope everybody can understand that we come to a point, we gotta cut this massive touring, and what else we'll do in the future will be like the ice on the cake, will be like an extra, will be like an encore, and will be, and that's most important, will be something where we go out there and let's have some fun, guys, and we want to do this? This is a great offer, why not? You want to come back to Brazil? What is it? It could be the opening of the World Cup. Are you kidding? Of course we go back to Brazil.
Yeah. That's what the fans want to know.
Point, with all those rumors about the World Cup in Brazil, I know there were people saying it would be great if the Scorpions come 2014 and play, be part, the opening or the finish or whatever, be part of the World Cup. We're all soccer fans. We love soccer, and that's a good thing now with our new schedule, where I can watch some more soccer of my favorite team here, Hannover 96, and go to the stadium and have some fun and support my soccer team. But of course, we would love to be part of a worldwide event like the World Championship in Brazil in 2014. But at this point, we cannot even plan ahead. If some officials will give us an official offer about this, then we're talking. Right now, it's a lot of rumors, and it would be wonderful, no question about it, but that's what I can say about it right now. We're always open for these kind of things, because, we're always open-minded, and that's the reason why we did projects with the Berlin Philharmonics, and we're always open for different things. And if there are some offers and projects in the future, some very special events coming up, of course, we check it, and if this sounds like fun, then we say, yes, let's do it, and have some fun, guys, And that's the whole situation, and that is different from what we are used to do for all those years, where it's this endless touring around the world, and this is kind of a serious break and a serious change of what our life as artists and musicians is all about, but I might tell you something different, like if you ask me like in 6 months from now, it might be totally different, because we don't know. We have a lot of experience, but no experience at all, like Matthias used to say, with what it's like to finish a career, to not be a band, a working band that is out there on the road playing concerts, and we don't know what it's like. In a few months probably everybody will be really sad, saying, we miss the road so much, let's go out there. Who knows? I don't know. But I can't blame you, for critics who are saying, oh, come on guys, it's been all we planned and it's a strategy and whatever, I just can tell you from the way I feel and what we experienced in the last 2.5 years, it's been a wonderful trip, and if life is over tomorrow, we can be so thankful for all those years we had as artists and the way we connected with the whole world, and it's been something nobody can ever take away from us.
Okay. Well, I just can see. I just can say.
It's a long speech, right?
Oi? What did you say?
It was a long speech.
Okay.
It's a long answer.
Yeah. But that's you have answered a lot of questions I would do, like World Cup. That's something I would ask, but you answered it already. So.
So that's it. Thank you, Roberta. It's nice to talk to you.
No. There's something more. Don't go now, please. And so I must say, I am happy because you decide not to stop, and the fans also are very happy because you don't stop at all. And you are in the studio, right? You're in your studio right now, right?
Yeah.
Yes. And you, I said when I talked to Rudolf in São Paulo here a few months ago, when you were touring here, and he said about making some recording, releasing all the recordings of the Scorpions. You are going to work on this old material to release it?
Yeah.
Yeah? Are you going to do it? And is there a chance for a new album, a studio album, too?
I don't know yet, so there, of course, it's so funny. That's the other side of the story. After all these years, you go to your label and you say, this is the last album, and we're leaving, goodbye. And they go, come on, Scorpions, we don't let you go, come on. We have this idea with that idea, how about this, think about it. And I think it's something like it's a compliment, it's better than after so many years your business partner, your record company, your label, they go like, it was great, we had a great time, bye bye, see you Scorpions, it's the other way around. No, come on, we don't let you go, which is I think it's a compliment because they enjoy working with us and we have a great relationship and we had lots and lots of success together. So it's much better after so many years than the other way around. There are many artists who have their highs and lows, and at the end of their career they're going down, and that's a sad story. And fortunately with this band it's the other way around, and it's maybe because we never lost the passion for music, for rock and roll, for what we do. We never lost the passion to go out there and perform in front of our fans, because that's what it's all about. And that's what makes a separation of something which makes a big splash today and is gone tomorrow, because the next sensation is waiting around the corner. The Scorpions were always, they were fighting with their heart blood, to be a strong, powerful, and great live artist, Can you still see me? Okay.
Yes, that's okay.
The picture went away for a second. So we were always, we were always a hard-working band, you know, but we never lost the passion, and we really enjoy what we do. And this is what makes also a relationship between your label and an artist, where you want to continue or you want to stop. So we wanted to stop, but our label said, no way, come on. So how about this? And so there are projects in the air. It's too early to talk about. We're thinking about it, and there might be some interesting projects coming up in the near future. But right now, all I can say, and we announced this like a year ago, we started working on some songs that were like leftovers from the glory 80s.
Mm-hmm.
There were some very interesting material we found. It's like the fans said, come on Scorpions, there must be a lot of songs that you never released. And so when we were working and taking a closer look, indeed there's a lot of stuff which is worth to take a closer look, you know. And I recorded some vocals a year ago. It's a year ago. It was in between, you know, in between Christmas and when we started touring again in 2012. And so there's a lot of material, but it's far away from being finished in any way, you know. And as far as, like, I can hear people saying, oh, now they take those songs and write new lyrics, and they don't want the original writers in there or some bullshit like this. So this is all not true. Whatever, if there's anything we change right now, it's something you want to record a song in a sound of today. That's one thing. But if you, from the creative point of view, if you have to change something, then only because what is there is not good enough. Because there was a reason those songs never made it onto the albums back in the 80s. You know, so if there's something to change, then we got to change it. But this is only because when there are no lyrics, then you have to write some lyrics. Otherwise, it makes no sense, right?
Yeah.
But this is, I don't want to go into details too much here right now. But it's a lot of fun to go back where, you know, those years, they were very powerful because we created some very powerful songs, you know, and many of them became classics.
Yes.
You know, and this is we're talking about the 80s, this is a long time ago, you know. So you really have to take a close look at this material and then see and find the right songs where you go, this might be songs where our fans would love to hear, you know. So this is an exciting project, and this is definitely something at some point in the months to come we pick up the work again on this project, and but we don't know when it will be released and if it will be released, so we'll see. First of all, it's just something where we feel it's worth to work this material, and if it turns out it will be great, then of course it will be released at some point.
Okay.
You know? And we're working on a movie, as you know.
Yes, yes.
We started filming in Bangkok in early 2011, and we were filming in Thailand, in Berlin, in London, in Paris, now in Munich, in Los Angeles. So we had this crew with us in many occasions and shows around the world, and so they are now in the process of editing and working all the stuff. They have tons of material
About
from
this,
around the world, and we filmed the whole show in Munich. It was a fantastic audience, and it was really great to put this moment on film. So there will be a whole package. It will be for movie theaters. There might be a DVD, of course, and television, and a lot of things. So, but there's also no time schedule now. It's still a lot of work to do, and then we take it from there. So there are a lot of things like studio work, like working on this movie, and so life will not be boring for us, even we're not out there on the road.
No, no.
So for now,
not really.
everything's good, and but of course we miss our fans, and we might miss them more in the months to come.
About this movie you are doing, did you record something in Brazil for this movie or not?
I think we filmed some stuff also in Latin America and also in Brazil. I think so, yes. Because we always have had our cameras around, and
yes, I met the guy.
Try to keep all these magic moments, and in the end of the day, you know, it's so many different parts of the world, and you try to present it's a whole picture. It's a movie about the career of the band. It's about the early days. It's about the whole history of Scorpions, and of course, it's about this farewell tour.
Okay. And what about Rock in Rio? The Brazilian fans were making a petition to bring you there. Is there a chance for you to play in Rock in Rio?
Since we have such a special connection with Rock in Rio, you know, because we played, performed at the very first one in '85.
Yeah.
If this came up, you know, we would take a look at this offer and to see it would be great, you know, to play Rock in Rio again, of course, you know, but in all those years, I know it was, for years it was in Portugal,
yeah, but
now it's back to Brazil.
Yes, it's going to be in Brazil again.
I just know we were always, for Rock in Rio, we were always really open, you know, and if this offer came up, I don't know, we have to see. But then on the other side, to be honest, once we stop this massive touring, it's not so easy to go out there and play like a big show like Rock in Rio, you know. It's there are too many people involved in talking about our crew people. We have the best crew in the world who went with us all those years, through the good times, the bad times, you know, and we had really great crew. And those people, you know, so what are they doing now? Of course, they need to work. And they also go on different projects and different tours. And to get all those people together, it's not easy. So when I said earlier that it would be great to play here and then, something that comes up where we say, let's do it, cool, just for the hell of it, and we enjoy it, let's have some fun. Yeah, that's right, but in the real world, you know, it also means to get everybody together and get this great crew together and make this whole, put everything up. What makes a great Scorpions show, you know, I think that is not so easy when you're not constantly touring. You know, so we have to see. It is a whole new chapter for us in the book of life, and we have to see all those projects that we're talking about right now, and all the work that comes up, and who knows, in the band where we will be surprised with some solo projects. I don't know. I mean, I have no plans at all for myself right now. I don't know about Rudolf, Matthias, James, Pavel. Pavel has his Steerwater band.
Yes.
He's playing, I know, in Poland. James might have some drum clinics and maybe also something he's involved with, you know. You never know, you know. And Matthias has his guitar store in Munich. Udo just enjoys his new car on the German autobahn. So we all have a lot of things. I mean, it's a whole new chapter, and it feels really different at this point, where this year is not planned out until 2040. So this year feels still like virgin, and it's like an empty space, and we'll see how we fill it up. But what I think at this point, after all the shows we did, and we played, I think almost 200 concerts in 35 countries around the world between early 2010 and the end of 2012. You can imagine how much energy, how much work, how much traveling, how many hours on airplanes, tour buses are involved. So it feels great now at this point also to go back to the land of creativity.
Yeah.
I think that feels very good.
So you don't stop at the top, and the best is yet to come.
Yeah.
And now, did you know that Paulo Baron, the Top Link Music, is bringing the Scorpions former to reunion with Michael Schenker Group here, and they do a great concert with Herman, with Uli John Roth and Francis, and it's a great jam. Did you know about that?
No.
They are coming to São Paulo in June. In about 3 months they will be coming here. And the fans, when I was talking to you, asking this interview, and I launched on Facebook and asked, what would you ask to Klaus? And they said they wanted to know if you would join them on a concert again, maybe in Brazil. But since you said you don't know when you come back, yes, Scorpions.
Scorpions.
Yes, the Scorpions are you alone? Maybe you alone. Join
I
them.
Heard about this, and I don't know. And right now there are no plans for any family reunions.
There will be. Well, I will try to be there as photographer, and I want to see the Scorpions former. And let's see. That would be great if you were there, but if not, I'll be there anyway.
No, it's. I mean, those guys are part of our history, and we wish them well. We hope they're successful and they enjoy what they do. And I'm sure for a lot of fans, what they see and what they get to hear is part of the Scorpions' history, and so it's all good. We wish them all well, but
okay.
We did this family reunions a lot of times.
Yes.
And of course, the most popular probably is when we played in Wacken in Germany, where we had from Uli to Herman to Michael Schenker. Even his son Tyson played. It really was a family reunion, and it was really wonderful. But I think you cannot pull this off again and again and again.
Yeah.
And like I said, we played almost 200 concerts around the world. So it's time for a break, and it's time to reload your creativity and like somebody wrote on the internet, you guys are too young to retire. Yeah, and that's the way we feel.
Yes.
It's this band is out there for 40 years, and we might be old in years, but there are not too many bands out there in our generation, but we feel young. We still feel young at heart, and that shows in our concerts with all those young kids in front of the stage singing our songs. and it shows on Facebook, for example, where we have almost 2 million followers.
Yes.
And they are between 60 and 80% of them are between 16 and 28, and I think that shows quite something, and it's wonderful that we make this connection, that our music is reaching out to the next generation as well, and that's really it's a wonderful feeling, and like every night we went out there, we enjoy every minute of it. And like in Brazil, it's amazing. I remember the first show we did in Belo Horizonte in 2012, when one night the equipment didn't arrive from Mexico. We postponed the show for one day, and so the promoter, like our friend Paulo, urged us, you gotta go out there, before you move on to Bolivia, and the fans were amazing. We were blown away by their energy. It was just fantastic.
Okay, so, changing the subject a little, I interviewed Herman Haribo last year to talk about his book, And Speaking of Scorpions, that was recently released here in Brazil. And he said he had no idea if you guys read his book. Did you read his book?
What he said?
Herman said about his book, And Speaking of Scorpions, it was recently released here in Brazil, and I was interviewing Herman, and he said he had no idea if you read the book. Did you?
If I read a book?
Yeah? What do you think about that?
Obscure, isn't it? I actually never saw the book, and I never read the book.
Nah, you never read the book. Oh, okay.
You read it?
Yes, I read it. I read the book to do, and I did an interview with him talking about that book. Well,
it's been never released here in Germany.
Yes, it was written in English. It was written only in English. He's going to translate.
It's in English?
Yes, it's English, and then it was released in Portuguese in Brazil last year.
Yeah, okay.
And then I read it in Portuguese.
But since I have so much time now, I can read all the books from my friends, and maybe gives me inspiration to write my own one.
Okay. And talking about books, is there anyone that changed your life? Do you have a favorite writer? And a book that changed your life?
Not changing my life, I like reading biographies and something like that, but I know Paulo Coelho is like an amazing writer. He's from Brazil, right?
Yes, he's a Brazilian writer.
Yes. I like him too a lot.
I never read Paulo Coelho, but I know him. I know that Rudolf is friend of him. He likes him so much too. And would you write a book? Maybe talking about scorpions?
At some point in my life I might write a book, but right now I don't even think about it.
Okay. And in his book, Herman talks about the first time you visited the USSR, when the world was still going through Cold War, and yet it was in its last days. You felt the wind bringing change, and then you composed the Wind of Change. This song represents the feeling of what was happening not only in Germany, and Russia, but also in the whole world. Then it happened. Berlin Wall was down. I'm reading the question. How did you feel this process, watching it from inside, and how can you describe the current role after this process? After the Berlin Wall is down and you composed the Wind of Change, how can you see it from there to now?
this I didn't understand the whole question, Roberta.
Okay, I will try to speak it slowly. Well, I will read the question. In his book, Herman talks about the first time you visit the USSR when the world was still going through the Cold War. Yet it was in its last days. You felt the wind bring change and then composed Wind of Change, the song Wind of Change. This song represents the feeling of what was happening not only to Germany and Russia, but also to the whole world. Then it happened. Berlin Wall is down. After you composed the Wind of Change. How did you feel this process and watching it from inside? How can you describe the current world after this process, from there to now? Did you understand it now?
I still don't understand the last part of your question.
How can you feel this process, watching it from inside Germany? This process of the Berlin Wall is down and you composed the Wind of Change. And how can you describe the world from there, since the end of the Cold War, to now, to the current?
Since the end of the Cold War. Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
If I got your question right, I think all of us grew up in the post-war Germany, and so we grew up in a country that was divided between East and West, and with the Berlin Wall, and we grew up with this. And when the Berlin Wall came down, it was such an amazing moment to be part of this in our lifetime. And since then, those were the days of the Cold War and the East-West confrontation. Since then, I think the world changed with there are new threats that came up in all those years. Since September 11th, for example.
Yeah.
And what we can see right now in the Middle East, and so in one way the world became closer together, and since the Berlin Wall came down until now, in another way, the world became more complicated and with more threats around the world, so I don't know if this was your question. I'm not so sure if that was the question. I understood it right, but I think that right now that there are a lot of people out there, a lot of people of the young generation, and they're looking for another wind of change, for a more peaceful world.
Yeah.
And so therefore the world changed in '89 and bringing people together, but now it's a whole different kind of revolution. We see so many parts of the world, and we see so many violence, and so many places where people hoping that they can be part of the free world, and they don't have to go to prison for listening to the music they love, whatever music it will be, or what music it is.
And how it was for you as a child, growing up in a country like Germany divided, with Berlin divided? How did you feel growing up in middle of all this? And how did you get influenced to the music with this? How did you feel growing up in this?
Oh, it was part of our reality, and of course we lived through the trauma of being the post-war generation. We were growing up in a country where we would not be proud of our country. Of course not. So I think many times that one of the reasons I started singing in English when we started with the Scorpions, we wanted to be part of the international world of music. We wanted to be an international band, because the way we grew up in Germany after the war, and with the generations of our parents, it was emotionally it was difficult to deal with. So as artists, as musicians, we wanted to be, in a way, we wanted to be free from our past, from the past Germany and the world lived through before we were born, and of course, in many times, being in the studio, writing songs, even before Wind of Change, I wrote lyrics like Crossfire,
Yes.
which was where I tried to describe my feeling, what it's like growing up between those powerful blocs, the Soviet Union and the United States, and East and West. And so I think also when we went to Moscow at the Moscow Movie Peace Festival, I mean, Ozzy Osbourne or Bon Jovi, they all went home saying we rocked the Soviet Union. But for us, coming from Germany, it was a much more emotional kind of story. And so that's why I wrote Wind of Change, because I was always influenced by the way we grew up and what we saw in our country, and also we could feel the confrontation and the danger when Soviet tanks and American tanks were standing in front of each other in the Friedrichstraße and Checkpoint Charlie in Berlin, and it was like the next World War was minutes away. Whoever would have fired the bullet there, it would start a big war. And so we grew up with this guy living in the West, but the confrontation and with those different systems were so close that this could have blown up any time, and so of course then you are also, as an artist, as a songwriter, and you're writing, this has a big part in your heart and the way you feel and the way you write. And I know we wrote many lyrics about chasing women and bad boys running wild, but to me, in lyrics like Wind of Change or Crossfire and all these songs, Send Me an Angel, it's emotional, and it's also a part where it's the way I grew up.
Yes.
And it's very personal, and those songs, they come from the bottom of my heart.
Oh, that's good. And as a result of the Cold War, it was two Germans as we are talking about, and there's two. And how did you
see me, Roberta?
Yes, I can see you. I want now talking about World Cup and bringing back this.
How long are your questions? Let me ask first. How long are your questions catalog?
What?
How many more questions you have?
Only three more. Three more. Okay, but you can. I won't take your time so much anymore. We are finishing it. Okay. How did you feel watching two Germanys playing against each other in the World Cup of 1974? The East German won with a goal from Jürgen Sparwasser. Yeah. How did you feel watching the two Germans playing in this World Cup?
I mean, what I remember is that I think it was another small sign that the two Germanys were trying to come a little closer and coming closer to each other. And I think it was very exciting a game to watch for people in East Germany and in West Germany. And the East Germans won, and they went back home. Wow, yeah. We kicked the West Germans' butts, and it was for them. It was a big thing, of course, and I can understand. But I think that sports and music were always the both things where you had a chance to bring people together, because what we see in so many parts in the world with all those different cultures, different systems, it's like people are fighting, people hate each other, you know, and the way they grow up, and the way they live their life in their world, and they fight each other, and that's what we see every day in the news. And in music, we go in this country, we go in that country, we play for all those fans, and they sing the same songs, they sing along, and with the same emotions, you know, and we can see no difference at all. But once they leave the concert, they back in the real world, and the fight goes on, you know, and it's the reality. And sometimes, as artists, as musicians, we see this world from the emotional point of view, and we see that at the end of the day, people are people, and they're more similar and much more closer together than what we see in the news every night, you know. And the same with sport, and that's why the sport event back in the 70s, you said, was in the 70s? Mm. I think it was something where you had the feeling there's a chance where we open the door and make life easier for people coming together on the excitement of soccer, and it's the same with music, you know. Okay.
And so, talking about World Cup, what do you expect for this next one? Of course, you want Germany to win, but what do you think? Who do you think that will win this World Cup?
Excitement, how Brazil is working, building up this event, you know, and it will be definitely an amazing World Cup, because Brazil stands so much, not only for music but also for soccer.
Yeah.
And you can feel it. And it's the same here in Germany. We live soccer, you know, and in Brazil they live and they breathe soccer, and it means so much. So the World Cup will be something all of us here in Germany are looking forward to. And if the Scorpions will play there or not, you know, but this World Cup will be something. It would be great to come back to Brazil and watch the final, for example.
Wow, yeah, that would be great.
Be fantastic, you know. So, but who will win? The best will win, you know. And I know there's a great friendship between Franz Beckenbauer and Pelé, you know, and those two legendary players. I think they mean so much for soccer fans around the world. So we're looking very much forward to see a great World Cup.
Okay, so we are finishing this interview. And can you send a message to the Brazilian fans? Well, they will be crazy to know about you. So can you send a message to them?
Message to fans?
Yes.
I like to say thank you for all your love and support for so many years. It goes all the way back to Rock in Rio in '85, and playing concerts in Brazil all those years. It was always something very special, and we can feel how much our music means to our fans in Brazil. And it's from the ones who've been following us from the early days, the ones who saw us at Rock in Rio for the first time, to all those young kids. And it's amazing, and they give us so much energy, and whatever we try to give our fans with the music, you know, we get so much back. And I'd like to say thank you for all this love and all your support for so many years. And I hope to see you again.
And in name of them, I say thank you too. And one thing more, we have visits from people from Latin America, like Chile and Argentina, Mexico, all of them visit our website. So can you send something to the Latin American fans too? Like,
of course, of course. I mean, this whole tour in the last couple of years, the farewell tour, the final sing tour, it was such an amazing success. But that's not because only of us on stage. I think it's because of you coming to our shows and making every show an unforgettable moment, you know. And all we can do is to give all our energy and play with all the passion and all the power we can give every night out there, you know. But in the end of the day, when the fans go home and what makes this night so special, and they go and say this was magic, that's because of you. That's just because of you. You make it special, you know, because the way we sing together, the way we interact, and what we do together, that makes a great concert, you know. And that's a very important part in every Scorpion show we play around the world. And the feedback we got from all our fans in Latin America, from Mexico to Brazil to Chile, you know, to Colombia, to Bolivia, and in Argentina, you know. So wherever we played in the last couple of years, we always had the feeling we are very, very welcome. And I'd like to thank you for making our life very, very special. Thank you so much. We love you.
And thank you for existing. Thank you for being the Scorpions. So you can. I hope we can talk again someday, and we can. I really hope you can come to Brazil. And if you don't came, I will go to Europe. If you play there, I will go to see you somewhere again. And
that would be nice.
That's it. Thank you so much.